Well, that was a fun night. Friday night, if you hopefully you got to see it. I told you going in the week we had never beat Thomas before in the years that we'd played them. They walk out on the field, they still look like Thomas. I mean, they're huge, huge up front. I've got good skilled players. They just don't have it together yet. I'm glad we played them week one because they will. They'll be a lot better team. I think the Oklahoman had them ranked number 4, Class A, coming into the season. So for us to do what we did to them is huge. I mean, honestly, so many people say that that might be one of the biggest wins that we've had at home in a long time. So it was really great to be part of that. I saw some things with the kids that hadn't seen for a while and that we've been waiting to see as far as energy, playing the game, having fun. Things started to click for them. I mean, obviously winning is fun, but they really, truly seem to be, enjoying themselves. So that was fun to see because that hadn't been that way for a long time. It's been such a struggle just sometimes to get 11 guys out on the field. So it was a blast. I mean, I know it was an awesome crowd. I mean, just absolutely awesome crowd. The atmosphere was great. Beautiful night for football. It was a huge win. I mean, I told you, I thought that was one of those games that could set the tone for the rest of our season. And for us to go out and be playing our JV and freshmen in the end of the third quarter, that tells you kind of where we're at. So, and our expectations off of that are a lot higher. So, really proud of those kids. Played a great game, obviously, and took care of business. Anybody got anything on Thomas? OBA is a lot better team. It's a new staff. Jay Mendenhall is the head coach. They look totally different. Looks like they went out and got them a totally different team. They look good up front. They're big. They're coached well. They defensive line wise. I mean, I'm just speaking of watching film. They do a lot of good things. They're coached really well. They played Tonkawa pretty close for a while. Tonkawa pulled away at the end, and Tonkawa's really good up front. So it's a game that we can't just walk over there and roll our hats out and say, hey, we beat Thomas 42-0, we're 2-0, we're going to beat you. We can't just roll our hats out on anybody. So it could be a good night for us, as far as getting some young kids in the game if we'll take care of business. If we don't, it's going to be a dogfight. I'll just tell you. It will be. So that's kind of been the challenge this week is when you got a group of kids who are playing like our kids are playing and expectations are high like they are, but they're not used to winning. And so some of the toughest things about a group of kids that aren't used to winning is how do you handle winning? Is how do you come back the next week and prepare? Do you take it for granted? Do you work harder? Do you look at that OBA team and just expect to beat them because you beat a ranked team 42-0? That's just not how it works. So that's been the challenge so far, is to get our kids to really get after it this week. Randy?
Hey, I'm going to backtrack and ask you a question about, I'm sorry to go back to the last game. After you watched film, were those forced fumbles or did they make the mistakes? Were you hitting that hard?
No, yeah, they were all forced fumbles.
Were they?
Yeah, they were. They're takeaways. And that was something when we started camp. First day we had defense. We did a turnover circuit. Back in the first day of Pats, turnover circuit. And that's what we are constantly preaching. Nose on the football, get to the ball, strip it. Be an opportunistic defense. You've got to create turnovers, and some of that's on them for protection of the football, but a lot of it is our kids. If you're making turnovers like that, it means there's a lot of black hats around the football. And I'm going to brag on Ethan Harsman, one of those plays. Ethan comes in He's playing tackle, defensive tackle. Comes in, beats his guard off the ball, runs down the line just like he's taught to, dives for the kid, misses him. Kid gets out of him. The quarterback is running down the line, retraces his steps, and comes back past him. Ethan gets up off the ground, turns around and chases it. As that kid tries to cut, makes the play from behind. Those are types of things that are going to win you a lot of games when you have kids that are playing that hard. So that's something we have not seen for a while. Something we've been trying to get to, but we're getting there. And so, I was really, really proud of those guys. I mean, I think they had less than 80 yards of total offense in 4 quarters. So that's very impressive. We're talking about a team that, guys, 2 years ago, they were state champions, 15-0. Last year they were 9-3. We're not talking about just a lot. This is Thomas, who has more wins as a program than I think anybody in the state. So, I mean, that's huge. Huge win for our kids. So, again, on OBA, just really nervous about how our kids will respond. I know that sounds kind of crazy. Like, hey, Coach, you just beat the brakes off of a pretty good team. You're playing a team that's trying to rebuild. But that makes me nervous because a lot of things can go wrong quickly. And it doesn't take much for momentum to swing. They go over the top on Tonkawa once, and they go twice to the house on jet sweep. So they have some athletes. They have some speed. And like I said, they're coached a lot better. So it makes me a little bit nervous about how we'll respond. Hopefully, if we're a mature team, we've already proven we're a good team. But if we're a great team, we'll show up and take care of business and move on to the next week.
What do they like to do?
I don't.
Run it.
No, they like to run it. Inside zone, a little bit of sweep. They like to run the ball, which I like. That plays into our right now how we're playing up front. Our linebackers are playing well. Here's the other thing. If you're good defensively and you're stopping the run, you have 2 really good corners. And we do. We have 2 really good corners. And some of you might wonder why I say that. Because if you don't and you have 8, 9 guys around the box, people are going to own you down the field. And we have the ability to have 2 corners that can go lock people down right now. And that's huge. That just takes the breath right out of an offense. And I know, and he knows as well, when you're trying to call plays and there's 8 guys in the box and the guys on the other side of the ball are better skill players than yours, it's not fun calling offense. And that's where we're at right now defensively. We're creating those mismatches. So if we can continue on that, I think good things are going to happen. We have Fairview next week. Fairview likes to throw it around. They're much improved. They had a lot of kids. They sat out last week. They lost to Watonga. And they sat 3 starters out on offense I know of. Their quarterback and 2 offensive linemen. So don't let any scores fool you on them. They're a really good football team. And obviously Hennessy is good. I've been told they're better than they were last year. So we've got our hands are going to be full the upcoming schedule. But, I think we're a lot better football team too. So it should be pretty fun. Paul wanted me to mention, if you don't know, after the game, what was going on, there was a little girl from Thomas that had passed away last week, and the Fight family is who that was. It was honestly a freak accident. Just you can't even fathom what had happened. And so we had been told about it, and so we decided to donate our proceeds from our dinner to that family. It was a little over $3,000. I think the girls' basketball kicked in a little bit from their 50-50 raffle, and the dinner was huge. I mean, there was a ton of people there. They went through every bit of food. They had to go back and buy more, I think, didn't they, Hars? Yeah. So I was really proud of our community for jumping in on that like we did, and supporting that and helping out that family and that community. They were in a lot of duress last week. Pretty bad deal. So, but it was nice of us to be able to offer up something and be thinking about them. So, anybody, anything else?
I'd like to, at the end of the game, I'd like to have you comment about that after the game situation prayer.
Oh, yeah, after the game, we presented the money to the family, and Thomas was talking to their players, and we were on our sideline, and we just wanted to share a prayer with them before they left, and we did as two teams together on the field. And Derek Thomas led us in prayer and kind of prayed for that family and that community, because honestly, if you had seen a picture of that little girl, I mean, it just melts your heart. She had siblings that were in the high school and really small community, just like us. So it would affect all of us as well. So that's what happened after the game. Anybody else? Hey, we want to congratulate Coach Walter too. I haven't had that much fun getting to watch a football game. Yeah, it was fun for me. I know it wasn't fun for you. I was putting my chair in my Jeep ready to go when it was like, I don't remember what we were up, but I don't remember. I got to talking to Coach Meade, and before I knew it, they're scoring, and then we're scoring, and so. But hey, they found a way to win, and congratulations, Coach Walter. Thanks.